Yes guys, what is going on? Welcome back to another video. Today, I'm going to be talking about the MLS competition that Sorare announced yesterday. I've had a night to sort of sleep on it and kind of, digest, the whole update, but ultimately, the MLS sort of specific comp in general and what it kind of means for MLS cards and how it affects other cards actually, as far as challenger cards go. So leave a like if you do enjoy the video. Subscribe if you are new to the channel. Yesterday we found out that the MLS is having its own dedicated competition, which is something that I've been hoping for a while. Did I hope for it to be in this form? No. As in, like, I obviously wanted it to have its own competition, similarly to like the Premier League, Bundesliga, or Liga comp. But of course, they have the dual utility of being able to be played in Champion as well. Whereas the MLS, as we found out yesterday, you're not able to play in Challenger, which, I've seen some people say is a negative for sure, and I think it is. A lot of people have prepped, their MLS galleries or their Challenger galleries by buying some of these, really good MLS midfielders and forwards, for example, because it is very hard to compete in Challenger without some of these MLS cards. Your Messis, your Cuchos, your Luchos, Buangas, for example, Avanders. So, yeah, like that strategy is completely out the window now. Like, doesn't make any sense. And so, people are going to be forced to sell certain MLS cards if they were just a majority sort of challenger or like a European challenger player, like they have like Dutch cards and Belgium cards, for example. So that strategy is completely out the window. MLS is on an island. It's its own entity at this point, and it's a bit like a hamster wheel. Like, you buy MLS cards to win more MLS cards, and this is going to be it's going to be very unique. It's going to be the only place on the platform where like that exists. Of course, we have the Premier League native comp, but you can play those cards in Champ, like I've already mentioned. So there's definitely like a downside to the fact that like MLS is on its own. Now, it's great for people who just want to play MLS, obviously, right? Maybe that's part of the bigger picture that we're not necessarily seeing as players, like from like a marketing standpoint. That might appeal to, American, football fans. Not that there's that many of them, but at least there's a lot of, obviously there's a lot of people in America, not all of them are football fans, but at least maybe there's like a marketing angle there. But I'm clutching at straws there a little bit. It's a weird one, like not having them in Challenger. But on the opposite side of that, Challenger cards now are a little bit better than they were previously, because previously you would use MLS midfielders and forwards with maybe a Challenger defensive stack, like a PSV defensive stack or a FC Twente or Club Bruges. Now you can't do that. So, Challenger like mediocre Challenger midfielders or good to mediocre Challenger midfielders and forwards, I'm not saying they're going to go up in price, but they're definitely better now because their scores mean more because they're not up against the MLS guys. So there's definitely something to be said about that. From a road to glory standpoint, now that I've moved over to Challenger, this is great for me, the fact that there's no MLS, because I don't have to worry about MLS. I don't have to worry about Messi. It's nice. Like, it is nice for Challenger only players, but for people who play Challenger and MLS, obviously it muddies the waters a little bit. They mentioned it with the Essence, like you can only, like, if you play the MLS comp, you'll only win MLS Essence. Challenger Essence won't mean that you get any MLS cards, which makes sense from what they've said. And the big thing, or like the new thing that we don't have much information on yet, the threshold that they mentioned. I'm just trying to find it here. I was a bit confused yesterday on how it's going to work with the threshold thing, and I'll get to it now. So here we go. A brand new Beat the Game mode format for the MLS comp only. We're thrilled to unveil the exciting Beat the Game mode as part of our in-season MLS limited and rare. So, take note, it's only limited and rare for the Beat the Game mode threshold. And it says lineups with 5 MLS in-season cards will compete for leaderboard prize pools and also unlock the chance to earn additional cash rewards. So I didn't understand this yesterday, but it makes sense now to me. If you buy 5 MLS cards, like goalkeeper, defender, midfielder, forward, and an extra player, like if you have an MLS lineup that's all in season, not only will you compete in season MLS, you will also have an added bonus of being able to compete in the beat the game or threshold mode. So that one lineup can win 2 rewards effectively. I didn't understand that yesterday, but now it makes more sense. Now, if you only play 4 in season with 1 classic, you won't unlock the beat the game mode feature. Like, your lineup will still be in season, but it won't have that, double bubble effect, which is interesting. I think this is, I saw Quinny mention it yesterday. I think this is something that they're trialing maybe for the new European season in August. I've got a funny feeling that this whole like threshold, if you play 5 in season cards, could be their way of sort of trying to get people to buy 5 in season cards for the new season whether that's MLS, whether that's August for the European season, and have that double bubble effect of having the chance to win the threshold as well. Whereas if people just play 4 on 1, like one classic card on 4 in season, they won't benefit from that. So yeah, it's not weird. It's just like something that is so left field. I didn't think they would ever bring back a threshold. Now we don't know the cash amounts that they're giving away here. It doesn't reveal that for us. I'm sure we'll figure that out or find that out in February. But it is interesting. Like, it is really, really interesting. Like, do you cheap your way into it and go 1 classic and 4 in season? Because that's going to be probably cheaper than going 5 in season. You'd like to think. So yeah, the difference between those two, like the difference between the lineup with 4 and 1 and 5, as in like cards wise, what that difference is, like, can you make up that difference in the beat the game mode, in the threshold, if that makes sense? If you think you can, then you should go for the 5, as in like you should buy the 5 in season cards. Depending on their price, depending on what the threshold is, we don't know. Yeah, I think that's definitely something that they've got up their sleeve. Maybe they're trialing now for August for sure. But yeah, it was very left field. I really didn't expect that to happen at all. To be honest, we're going to be getting these early access MLS cards, K League and J League in the next few weeks. I hope because the MLS starts in just over 5 weeks or so. It's definitely forced me to think about what I really want to do as well. It's going to be an interesting time. I'm looking forward to it. Like, I do think the MLS should have its own league. Like, I've been saying that for a while. Like, it's so unique. 30 teams, they play at a different time. Like, I get why they've left Challenger, but at the same time, like, they're just like an island card now, as in MLS cards basically only can win more MLS cards unless you play them in specials, which happen every week. Like, we do get specials, I won't deny that. Like, you can still use Carlos Gil to win Messi. Obviously you could do that. Carlos Gil to win Mbappe in a special comp, special weekly. But outside of that, it's going to be MLS cards are going to win you more MLS cards effectively. So, and it's fine if you just want to play MLS. But yeah, I think it does limit the selling. Like, say if you did win an MLS card from your classic MLS lineup in the new season, unless you, like, maybe you don't want to play in season, so you want to try and sell that card. Of course, there's going to be buyers, but the amount of buyers might not be as much as it would be if they were still in Challenger. Now, I know they're still, like, you're still able to play them in the same amount of places. They just played in they've just completely created a new island, which is the MLS native comp. So, yeah, you're not losing utility in any way. I've seen that mentioned. You're not losing utility necessarily. You just can't play them in Challenger, which definitely, changes the dynamic in Challenger, like we mentioned. And, yeah, I think it's ultimately for the better. We still don't know the prize pools. We still don't know what the beat the game mode cash rewards are. Like, there's still some unknowns before I give my sort of final judgment, but I'm excited about it. Like, I love the MLS. I follow it religiously, and I'm gonna get involved in it. I don't know at what level yet, to be honest. I really don't. Depends what I win from now until it comes out. It's a needed move. I think it makes sense. And like, I think one thing that Sorare have been quite clever about is like in giving MLS their own league or division, is that, like, most of the time, like last year for example, there was like 2 teams max that you would have wanted their goalie of, like Kalina for Charlotte for example comes to mind. Outside of that, like, there weren't that many good defensive stacks in the MLS, like for Challenger. So you would use, like I said, a Challenger defensive stack, like FC20 defensive stack, PSV defensive stack, and you would use Carlos Gil, Messi, Cucho, or whatever the combination is of midfielder, forward, extra player, right? That was the meta. Now that doesn't exist. Obviously, MLS is its own thing. So it's going to be interesting. Like, all 30 of those clubs, all 30 of those goalkeepers that play for those clubs, their defenders, etc. Because none of them are that good. Like, nobody's a standout, really, outside of Kalina, maybe I said, as the goalkeeper. But for defenders, like outside of Kai Wagner, who could leave, there's not that many good defenders. So that kind of means that all the defenders are kind of worth the same, if that makes sense. Like, they all have value because none of them are that good. Like, there's no outliers. And so that can only be a good thing for Sorare's pockets, obviously, right? So, they're not stupid. That's kind of why they probably thought, you know what? They probably deserve their own comp, because we could take, like, there's so many MLS cards, defenders and goalkeepers, that are worthless in Challenger. But if you put them in their own competition, playing against their own league, which is the MLS comp, they become quite valuable quite quickly, even though they still don't score that well. Like defenders and goalkeepers in that sense. So it's going to be a free-for-all. It's going to be nuts. I'm excited about it. Let me know what your thoughts are in the comment section. And yeah, we'll definitely work our way through the update, and hopefully, we'll hear more, on prize pools and thresholds, cash rewards and stuff, the actual amounts in the next couple of weeks. And yeah, I'll maybe make an updated version of this video. Hope you've enjoyed, lads, and I shall see you guys in the next one.